welcome everybody to the Dr. Jane Live Miracle Medicine series on a Thursday. And today we're going to be discussing the wonderful world of our gut and the importance of it, the role of it, and specifically looking at immunity, happiness, energy, growth and repair, brain health, intelligence, and longevity. And all natural. I'm going to be bringing in some information on ancient wisdom. Some of it we might have forgotten about. Definitely talking about natural gut health, extending it to brain intelligence and longevity. All geared towards boosting holistic health and well-being. And I have done quite a few recordings on the gut health, fermented foods, and I urge you to have a look at my YouTube channel, Dr. Jane Mackenzie. There's over 300 educational videos there. So anybody who wants to know more about what we do here and our miracle medicine, there's a feast waiting for you. And so I might be overlapping with some of the things I've already spoken about, but I'm going to bring you some new info today as well. So welcome, everybody. I'm going to just open up the slide so I can begin. Let me just go to the beginning one. So we're talking about these little friendly allies inside our gut that are responsible for, in the main, digesting our food. Without food digestion, the petrol doesn't get to the engine. So many of you have heard me say that many times. So just think about that. Without the microbes, we're not able to digest our food. And therefore, how are we going to make energy? How are we going to think clearly? How are we going to grow and repair our bodies? So with that framework, let's move and have a look at why the gut actually matters. So the Chinese, I think, coined the phrase that our gut is our second brain. The convoluting intestines mimic very much the brain physiology, and therefore there's similarities, but more than that, there are neurons, millions of neurons in the gut that are same as the neurons in the brain. So we like to work with the second gut, the gut, the heart and the gut, because that's where we're making decisions that are not emotional, and rather than working with the brain. So the gut is home to 70 to 80% of the immune system. It impacts our digestion, helps with detoxification in the gut and rest of the body, our mood, our hormones, and energy. The gut-brain axis influences mental and emotional well-being, and it's known as the second gut, a brain. And I like to follow prevention, better than waiting for when things are too late. So if we're talking about the second brain and our energy levels, and I've used this, are you sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, many times, because this is just one of the ways that we can assist ourselves and shed the sick and tiredness and move more towards happiness, wholeness, and well-being. And I do this with my Hyla Reset, Quantum Reset program, alchemical healing by clearing the original traumas through the HAL process and restoring the body, mind, emotion, and spiritual harmony so that we live the life we came to live. So there are literally trillions of microbes, bacteria, fungi, yeasts, and viruses in our body. In fact, 90% of our cells are microbial. 99% of our genes are microbial. 1% belong to us, which determine our eye color, hair color, etc. So each person's microbiome is unique. It's like your thumbprint. That's why I prefer to use a really broad probiotic that's got strains and substrains, like the Microbiome Reset, to enable the body to produce its unique thumbprint in the way of its microbiome. And if you're only taking one microbe, one probiotic, one organism or two organisms or 3 or 4 or at the most 12, What about the 80 to 120 live strains that are in, for example, a natural probiotic like the Microbiome Reset and all the sub-strains, enabling them to imprint on your microbiome, enabling them to regenerate yours. And the microbiome regulates inflammation, nutrient absorption, and neurotransmitter production. What are neurotransmitters? That would be our serotonin, dopamine, GABA, PEA. Those are our neurotransmitters that keep the brain in harmony, the brain wavelength, amplitude, and of course the happiness hormone, which is a neurotransmitter, serotonin. So if we then move to functions of the gut bacteria, and this comes off a slide, and I'm just going to read some of them. Nervous system modifications, breakdown of food compounds, pathogen resistance, protection against epithelial injury. That's the outer lining of the membrane or the skin. Bone mass density modulation. Promotion of fat storage. Promotion of angiogenesis. Immune system stimulation, biosynthesis of vitamins and amino acids, metabolism of medicine. So it's actually huge, the microbiome, and it extends from our mouth to our butt, basically. And working 24/7 when there's an infection in the body, not only the white blood cells, killer cells, beta cells, T cells, NKF cells are called, so is the microbiome, because what happens is the normal bacteria, funguses, and yeasts, which are in the friendly form, shapeshift into the pathological, opportunistic, aggressive form, and they will go directly to where the site of infection is and help the immune system fight. So if 75% of your microbes are not in your gut, your immunity is not in your gut, then imagine you really are letting the immune system down. If your bone marrow is not functioning properly to make the white blood cells, again, you've got less than 25% of your immune system sitting there. If your immune transfer factors are not working, you've got less immunity as well. So the microbiome, your probiotics, are absolutely essential, and that's putting it mildly. So symptoms of microbiome imbalance. And here you would get your typical bloating, constipation, diarrhea, brain fog, fatigue, mood swings, low immunity, skin issues, sugar cravings, weight gain. And so many people come into my center here at 365 Healthy by Choice in Bryanston. And I mean, this could be anybody coming in. Same factors. And, the powerhouse is it's the gut. All disease begins in the gut, quoting Hippocrates. So no wonder we're not thinking clearly and living productively in all areas of our lives. No wonder we've got a leaky gut. No wonder there's pain in the gut. No wonder there's bacteria in the blood and, being transferred to the brain. So what are we going to do about this? We're going to look at prebiotics, which is essential for food probiotics. So there's a list there of prebiotics, which when we eat these, they become food. For the probiotics. So it's very simple. We live in a moving system, and not like a plant that's stabilized in the ground. So we have a moving system, and the microbes are used, and they do their job, they die off, and they leave the body. But we've got to keep feeding them, and that's how we will build and grow our colonies. Our microbiome. So this isn't a completely exhausted list, of course, but I mean, just pick from this list what you do eat out of here, and make sure that at every meal you're eating something that's got a prebiotic in it, an inulin or a fruit or a milk aspect to it, because then you're going to get the fructo-oligosaccharides, the galacto-oligosaccharides, or the inulin, or resistant starch or pectin. Pectin would be from apples, for example. A resistant starch means resistant to breakdown, like artichoke, celery, that hard fiber. So this is what we need to be eating. And I know there's many of you who are listening in today, where the gut problems, the gut biome, it's a very, very, very big problem. And it's scary because if you can't get the fuel to the engine, you know it, you are weak and you just become acidic, inflamed. Your brain power goes down, lethargy. There's no excitement in your life anymore. And you really are then just susceptible to every organism going around, because once there's indigestion, poor digestion, you get fermentation, and that's when the worms, parasites, etc., just find their home and live off you and soak up all your food, all your neurotransmitters, and they become the happiest, well-fed organisms on the planet, except you. So with my high-low holistic approach, we always look at nutrients that are 100% natural food state, plant-based, and in the quantum state. What does this all mean? Well, food state means exactly as nature intended, exactly as it was harvested out of the ground or came off the tree. And that's in the natural state. Plant-based, of course, because we're getting a higher energy from there, less toxic side effects. And quantum state means that the food is being in the natural state. It still holds its natural intelligence. The DNA of the plant is still intact. When you start altering it, I've said this so many times, extracting it, freezing it, drying it, patenting your manufacturing process, you've lost 3/4 of the effect of that plant. Because in the quantum field, where it's in the natural state, it will help heal body, mind, emotion, and spirit. Once you destroy the intelligence, destroy the DNA, denature the plant, chelate it, add it to other things, nanocoat it, lysosome will do whatever, it becomes totally two-dimensional realm. It will only work in the physical. And that's wasting people's time and money. I just don't believe that the natural state is in any way missing, deficient in its ability for the body to absorb. Yes, you might say people are sick. The gut there's not enough microbes in the body. Therefore, the body's not absorbing. It's not a malabsorption issue. It's a maldigestion issue. So fix that. And this is what I find, it's just such a lazy way if you just keep putting plasters on things. Bandages. If the tire's got a nail in it, take the nail out. Don't put a plaster over the nail, because it's just going to reoccur and get worse and worse and worse. And energy of people declines, and so does the state of the adrenal gland, the battery discharge, it dissipates. And then it becomes more and more of a problem. So we use synergistically formulated products for optimum potency. 1 + 1 is 3, 3 + 3 is 9. So you're getting less is more, synergistic effect, potentiated. And, using scientifically validated and quantum imprinted nutrients. So we choose holistic quantum state, plant-based food state, nutrient range. I've talked a lot about this last week, about the natural state, and it's a never-ending discussion for people who want to constantly buy manufactured supplements. Many of them are synthetic. It interferes with the gut lining, our bodies, and what's worse is when they chelate it and nanocoat it and trick it directly into the cell. Then the cell's got this, wow, what am I going to do with this? And then you get intracellular toxicity. So now we're going to talk about, one of the most favorites, hallmarks of 365 Healthy by Choice, apart from the Almost Gold. But all the products have Almost Gold. And this product, I did post earlier this week, and this lady said, I've just got to tell you, Jane. She said to me, this is her testimony. I just want you to know that I love this product. It has really assisted me with my gut and my digestion. My bowel movement is so regular now. And this I hear, daily, if not 5 times a week. In fact, people in the store stop me and just say, hey, Jane, your range raises the bar. and especially your microbiome reset. So it is really, truly medicine. And the thing is, it's naturally occurring microbes. You would never put it in the fridge. They will die. And it's only harvested when the pH is less than 3.7. So it's acidic. You can wash dishes with it. You can use it as laundry cleaner. You can clean your bathrooms, your kitchen sinks and floors. It works like the pH is less than 3.7. But at that low pH, acidity pH, the pathogens cannot grow. So it's very, very important and crucial that it's harvested at the right pH level. And of course, with using a master brewer and then our second generation brew, which I then add, the blue-green algae, the medicinal mushrooms, the volcanic rock dust, kelps, etc. to it, and herbs, to upscale it, to make it even more of an intelligent, nutrient-based probiotic. It's going to help our digestion and absorption of nutrients, relieving indigestion almost instantly, but then you've got to also include your dietary changes there. Regular bowel movements, of course, building immunity, scavenging toxins, synthesizing vitamin B and K. And this is absolutely critical and crucial because of high stress level that we live under, many of us are really deficient in vitamin B, and it's water soluble, so it's not like you store it. Vitamin K, well, that's just essential for collagen production. Parasites will dissolve collagen. So there's always a deficit of vitamin K when there's a high level of parasites. So people run and buy vitamin K or buy collagen. That's not the issue. Clear again the cause, the parasite. So we've always got to get to the root cause. Otherwise, we're wasting our time. It will scavenge toxins and pathogens. In fact, if there's an oil slick on the ocean, they'll use the probiotic with the enzymes that it naturally has to literally eat up the oil. If they want to clean sewage, they throw similar microbiome, similar probiotic effective microorganisms down the drain, and they will eat up the debris that's causing the blockage. Imagine what it does in our guts. Some of us have got quite blocked guts at any event. So very important. It builds the serotonin, dopamine, GABA, PE, the neurotransmitters. Okay, without the neurotransmitters, our brain is very dull. And I'm going to start talking about the mitochondria as well, because the mitochondria are a eukaryote, which is a bacteria anyway. But because the probiotics are digesting the food is enabled into the cell. And once you've got food, glucose inside the cell, joining with the electrons, you're going to get ATP, TTP, CTP, and GTP, energy, life force. So that's how they're helping directly. They're imprinting on our DNA, that's absolutely for sure. They are in the evolutionary waves of the earth and development. So therefore, they will be imprinting on our DNA. That's the intelligence. It's natural state, remember? So they're alive. They're alive to everything that's going on around. And that's where we're getting our intelligence from. And in terms of longevity, well, if they are assisting with mitochondria activity, we're preventing the downward spiral where people age rapidly, where the mitochondria aren't functioning properly. So if we can keep those mitochondria functioning normally, we will then gracefully age and not have the sudden decline in our age and in our vitality, our energy, our vibrancy, the pace at which our brain works, the pace at which our muscles repair. We want to keep that youthful response from the body, and make sure that we're working with the body and not allowing it to slowly break down. So these bacteria are not only focusing on how long we live, but on how well we live. That's very important. So the gut bacteria will increase mitochondrial function, decrease inflammation, And there's scientific research showing they influence the length of the telomere. That's the shoelace at the end of the chromosomes. There's 2 of them. The Ormus gold mine also influences the length of the telomere. So do the bacteria, the gut bacteria do this. And it just makes us feel more alive, more peaceful. And many of you have seen my screen of the microbiome reset on my microscope. It's got that beautiful blue background, exactly the same as the screen that you're looking at. And then you've got these beautiful, still, long rods, short, round, all different sizes. But these organisms stay in their place. They have a steady state, central steady state, compared to a parasite which screams across the screen. And, it's dashing off here, dashing off there, just no central piece at all. So you're going to get this from your inner ecosystem, call it that. Your inner biological pharmacy, imprinting exactly which microbes you need at which point in time, allowing us to think clearly and live productively and age well. So, as I say, if all diseases are related to the gut, we need to watch very much what we eat and reduce fermentation in the gut, because that's where alcohol is produced and that's when the worms come, the worms and the parasites. So they are really our little allies. And then, by the way, this is all on cell. Oh, here we go. Here's the screen. Forgot that I included it. So this is dark field microscopy here in my office. And this is what this microbiome reset looks like. So whilst the liquid is brown, when you put it on the screen with the light through, there you get the big blue. With these absolutely, just look at them, gazillions of them all over the place, just like a galaxy. So then we're going to have a look also at the biome and other things that all the places, I'm so scared to do this too far, all the places where different microbes will be located to do different functions. So the stomach, we've got various bacteria, the duodenum, the small intestine, the jejunum, the ileum, also small intestine, different organisms, the colon, different organisms, the gut-brain axis. And this is where we're heading towards, the state of your mind, your peace, because with the right organisms there, you will reduce stress, anxiety, depression, irritable bowel syndrome, schizophrenia, cognitive decline, and autism, in fact, too. So definitely our autistic children are fed large amounts of microbiome reset several times a day, and you will see immediate shift. The people with depression, multiple doses of microbiome reset throughout the day, building up the serotonin, the brain neurotransmitters. Serotonin is the happy hormone. Most of them are flat dead, haven't got any probiotic in their gut. The gut-heart axis, there again. The gut-lung axis, the gut-liver, the gut-pancreas, the gut-bone, the gut-muscle, the gut-skin, the gut reproductive axis, the gut kidney axis, the gut bladder axis. So directly related to systems, organs of the body. And, that's why it's just crucial. So if we just stop for a bit and think about our ancestors, because our ancestors knew this inherently. They had inherent intelligence. They were organic, feet on the ground, touched the trees, touched the plants, collected the water, very rooted. And knowing about these microbes, knowing about these organisms, they would then include these foods every time they ate. And in the forms of all sorts of varieties of, for example, fermented cheese. They would ferment also a similar probiotic using the leaves, the fruits, and everything that was around them. Example also would be salt-fermented sauerkrauts, kimchis, idlis, miso. And these are ancient foods that have been around for ages. So our ancestors knew how to digest their food. They knew what was important. They knew how to build the biome, build the body, build the mind, emotions, spirit. and intelligence. And I just want to remind you of that. We will go out, order a cold drink with ice in it, drink that, make sure that the stomach is basically frozen, and then eat our food and wolf it down. I'm not even really focusing on chewing, etc. So large lumps of food then get swallowed. We expect our gut to digest this somehow, and expect to rest well that night and feel full of energy with the battery charge the next morning and not get ill. And that's not going to happen. So we do have to rethink all of this. And, just be aware that our microbes greet each other in the same way as we doing a handshake or eye contact and saying hello to someone. Our microbes do the same. And, they're ahead of the game, and they will balance our emotions, is what I'm really going to say. So let's go back to the presentation. Let me start it here. So another one of the products, these are all on special too. So you'll find when I do a webinar, often the products on special on purpose as well, talking about the gut. So in order to get rid of the toxins, there's various herbs and things that you can use to do this. And cleansing the gut, you need powerful herbs. And the main ingredient in the gut cleanse is Cascara sagrada, which is a very gentle way of sloughing off the dead epithelial cells, the debris, the plaque that exists in the gut. And together with all the other 7 nutrients, in a potentiated way, you're going to get gentle action, fast removal of waste, and restores the regular bowel movements, along with the probiotic, along with good eating. So that's a great one. That's also less 15%. The para-immune defense, this would be for those people with IBS, Crohn's, moving towards degenerative diseases, that long-standing, long-term, those people that walk in and tell me, Jane, I've got H. pylori, Jane, I've got Clostridium. First of all, they will never have only one. So let's get this straight. There's a biofilm. The funguses, the bacteria, the viruses, all live in the biofilm, and they protect each other. And there will never be only one, because when the body's terrain is out of balance, where there's disorder, you're going to get a whole lot of them coming. And you will get a mixture based on your emotional state that stay and live in you. So that's why everyone will be different as well. So your emotional state is going to attract the organisms that come in. So having a look at this para-immune, it's got also powerful synergistic and potentiated effects, antiviral, antifungal, antibacterial. That includes the genetically modified ones. Restoring the gut microbes, supporting organs and systems of the body, of course, and restoring immunity. There are the ingredients: cat's claw, astragalus, andrographis, tehibo, sarsaparilla, knotwood, golden seal, dandelion, artemisia, cloves, black walnut, hull. So the last 3 you will find in my parastop, which is going to follow from this, but they are the usual ones. So these herbs in powdered form are far more active than any extracted tincture liquid form of the herb, for the reasons I told you in the beginning. So we've got less 15%. All our chronic disease people will take the para-immune until the time that we measure on my quantum devices and the readings are in the green or on 100 out of 100. And the collagen levels are up, and there's no predisposing factors indicating that that body is overrun by microbes. And that's very important, because when you're looking at my high-low process, we measure before, during, and afterwards. So you're on total control. You're getting feedback directly about what's happening. The more you follow recommendations, the more you're going to heal them. And that's the end of it. Here's the Parastop, 15% off on that one as well. It's going to target the parasites, fungi, bacteria, and flukes. So on a lighter level, it will do this, but I have hundreds of stories, hundreds of pictures of people that show me little Neddy that finally came out of the gut, and there I see it on the piece of toilet paper. So this is just a wow of a product. Fantastic as well. Restoring the gut ecology. And remember also that these flukes will be in the gut, the liver, the pancreas, And therefore, the herbs don't only go to the gut, they'll go to around every single cell and heal. And that's got the 3: Artemisia, black walnut, and cloves. And then looking at signs of and things that cause damage to the gut microbiome. So autoimmune diseases, chronic diseases, overweight, sugar regulation will affect the gut biome. Mood disorders, depression, anxiety, autism got a root cause as the gut biome. Aging, responsible sunlight will help. Food additives, allergies, stress. So we want to do exercise our mental, emotional state. We want to have nutrient-dense nutrients, low toxins, an anti-inflammatory diet. I like to use the blood group. It's an anti-inflammatory way of eating, whether you A, B, O, or AB. Looking at the prebiotics and probiotics, what will damage the gut are antibiotics and drugs. Absolutely. After your second course of antibiotics, watch the depression set in. And it goes from anxiety to sadness to depression. Read my doctorate. It's all in there. Environmental toxic exposures, colicky child, it's got to do with the gut microbiome. Were you breastfed? Were you born naturally? Did you pick up all the stages of immune building? What was the state of your maternal, paternal parents' nutrient levels and immunity? And as I said, the mode of birth. So there's a lot of factors that affect this gut microbiome, by the way. And not only those, the gut microbiome of people sitting near you. People who are on antibiotics, that antibiotic is going to affect your microbes. And they've done tests on this. They've showed it. They've even taken DNA on a microscope, put the person 30 kilometers away and put them under stress, affected the gut microbiome, and you see it in the DNA 30 kilometers away. So these organisms are in the quantum field where everything is, the field of wisdom. When you affect one thing, you're going to get an effect everywhere else as well. All right, another bright product that's going to really bring life and cleanse the gut is our cell oxygen capsules, magnesium dioxide, supporting gut detox, eliminating the parasites. Of course, none of them can form resistance to oxygen. And where you got your biofilm, where they're protecting each other, they can't do that with oxygen. It penetrates everywhere. It also aids digestion and assisting with the gut-brain axis. Very, very important. The magnesium relaxes the gastrointestinal tract. Very safe and effective. So here we would use it 1-3 times a day, building up to that and increasing. So here's a fantastic product. And this product, the last point there, breaks the biofilm of parasitic infections. So very, very important when we've got these really long-term, age-old, chronic stomach, intestine, colon problems. And it's wonderful as a powerhouse for the gut and the blood. And it's got 3 major fruits in it and fruit enzymes, along with vitamin C and all the other things that are in these fruits and herbs. But it's an enzyme, basically, a completely naturally occurring enzyme, enhancing digestion. So the probiotic, the microbiome reset I have has got the probiotics and the enzymes naturally. However, here's a natural enzyme to assist, and here is another enzyme. So we were talking the other day. Just look at the 7 amazing enzymes that we have here for starch, lipids, proteins, sugars, celluloses. So this one here, there's not also really a limit to how many enzymes you can take. At the cancer clinics, they open the enzyme capsules over their salad, for example. So enzymes, I've talked about this before, they live on the invisible position between our potential energy and kinetic energy. So what we think, feel, imagine, and then we bring these ideas into kinetic energy. As humans, the enzymatic level is in between those two, between our dreams, our imagination, and our manifestation, apart from everything else, because they're responsible for so many of the pathways in the body. So we've got to have enzymes, and there's many of them, and some are for digestion, and some of them are metabolic. I'm not going to get into all of that today. It just depends when you take them. But just cast your eye down this list and see how amazing these are in terms of energy, cell rejuvenation, increasing absorption of oxygen. There you go. So many people don't have the oxygen enzymes to convert that oxygen through the lungs into the bloodstream. In the microbiome reset, it's got the oxygen and the hydrogen transfer enzymes. And I only found that out because I knew we needed it and I researched it. So here we've got getting back to that product, a power product. And in any event, we've got to have enzymes for this and organisms. Reducing inflammation, increase nutrients to the cells. Well, then we're going to have good mitochondrial function, longevity, thinking clearly, living productively, removal of toxins, parasites, infections, dissolving clots. Well, everybody needs that in their blood. We need it because it will go into the blood. So the oxygen splits off and by osmosis enters the bloodstream out of the gut. And we get hormone regulation through the enzymatic pathways and slowing the aging process. Wow. So now you're probably thinking, well, where do I start? What am I going to do first? Let's see. There's still some more products. Here's another unbelievable product, bacterial cell wall fragments, made specifically for humans by the bacteria in the exact genetic code. So what a blessing that we have this when we're wanting to restore damaged genetic codes, disease-prone genetic codes, chromosomes, missing genes, missing adenosine, missing adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine. That and uracil, all those building block proteins are in this beautiful, I wouldn't even say plant-based, bacterial-based, vegan fragment. And the results are unbelievable for leaky gut. This is what we use. And obviously it's going to repair the whole body, but in particular here with today, restoring the gut lining, healing the leaking gut, regenerating cells of the mucosa. Wow. That's going to then be those hormonal endocrine cells, releasing cells. Boost immunity by altering the immune system. Bacterial cell wall fragments. There we go. For the genome integrity, promoting stem cell rejuvenation, supporting immune programming and gut repair. So again, it's absolutely flabbergasting what we have in our toolkit and the 365 Healthy by Choice range. All natural, all nature state, quantum state, food state, plant-based. That's why we get the results we do. Another great product for the gut is zeolite. We've called it zeolite 8 detox because it's an octagon ring that's double activated, and it actually says it, double activated ring, and that means it's super, super magnetic. And because that ring is open, it's going to attract lots of opportunities to attract lots of toxins at any one time. So for gut hygiene, it's phenomenal. It binds and removes uric acid, other acids and toxins out of the body, which is really great because most people are acidic. It effectively moves heavy metals and toxins, balancing your gut pH, supporting the elimination of pathogens, and enhancing nutrient absorption by reducing the toxic load. And just as an aside, in addition to this, it will protect us from electromagnetic frequencies and radiation, which I think is a huge plus. Scientific research. And now we've got also my one of my all-time favorites, and that's the flaxseed oil. Why flaxseed oil? Why can't I take the olive oil, Jane? Why can't I use olive oil? Why can't I use whatever? Flaxseed oil is, as all oils, have got their own principles. And I need the flaxseed oil to form an electrical potential across the mucosa membrane, across the lung membranes, across the cell membrane to get the food absorbed and into the cell as regularly as necessary, so that we get mitochondrial action and energy produced and life force. So the flaxseed oil has that. It is the highest life force of all the oils. Mine's cold pressed. It's bottled and it's pressed and bottled in 1 month and sent straight to me. So you've got, it's not only cold pressed, it's also away from light and air. And this is where people make a bit of a mistake. They think that cold pressed is fine. It's also light and air, very, very important. And of course, magnetic fields. Don't put it in the fridge. So this is super powerful. Omega-rich anti-inflammatory. Moistens the mucosa membranes, assists gut motility and absorption, and electron-rich, cold-pressed, and organic. So what we're doing here is facilitating the absorption of the food, in addition to the other great things that flaxseed oil does. And we also blocking the cell membrane positively with natural cold-pressed flaxseed oil, so that not blocking, but we're forming a lining that the viruses can't come through. So the viruses are blocked from entering if you've got cold-pressed flaxseed oil there. So cooked oils definitely don't do this. They will interfere with the cell lining and leave it open for anything to enter. Here, you use about 1 to 3 teaspoons 3 times a day, depending on the situation. But if your gallbladder is blocked, then for heaven's sake, do a gallbladder flush, because you need the bile to flow to digest oil so that you can take oil. Otherwise, the body just says no. All right, and then we've also got this gut cleanse and restore box. And these are boxes I made probably 10 years ago, even. Already, all available, save 15%. They're always on sale. So you can get, 4 products in there that are already going to set you ahead. The probiotic, the parastop, the enzymes, and the gut cleanse. Oh, wow, that's a powerhouse to clean the gut. And, herein lies your second brain. I just want to get back to that, because this is our gut microbiome. It's our second brain, as I said, and this is the intelligence, the essence of the holistic integrated epigenetic life orientation system that I've pioneered. We've got to work with the gut. That's where our intelligence is. So the results you can expect from cleaning your gut: restored microbiome balance, improved digestion and regularity, enhanced mood and mental clarity, boosting immunity and detoxification, and people thinking clearly and living productively. So people who come for the first assessment and then return for the second assessment, it's chalk and cheese. They're on another level. The discussion is different. They can't even remember all the long list of things they told you that was wrong with them when they come in, and it's really a breeze, the follow-up. So that to me is testimony to somebody who's, surrendered to the ailments, been very serious about their health, listened to what I've recommended, and moved through. Obviously at their own pace, and each day there's an escalation in energy and joy. And it's too beautiful to see. And I do honor those people. So getting started, what are we going to do here? We're going to start with that microbiome reset for sure. And we can layer in the gut cleanse, the digestive enzymes, the triphala, etc., adding para-immune or the para-stop. And always suspect parasites, by the way, because if there's any form of diarrhea or constipation, there's going to be fermentation. Preventing resistance building up with the cell oxygen. Then support the cell regeneration and gut lining with the replica RNA, DNA as we get more and more chronic, using the uric acid to bind, zeolite to bind the uric acid and toxins, and then we nourish with the flaxseed oil. And then remember to hydrate at least 2 to 2.5 liters a day. And this is critical. I mean, I get about a liter in before I even eat in the morning. This is when the plants drink. They drink in the morning. It's when they hydrate. So here at 365 Healthy by Choice, we believe you have a choice. And that, healthy lifestyle is not a trend, it's a journey. And that's what I always say to people, hop on. I'm here to guide you with your journey, and it's measurable, it's evidence-based, it's researched, and not only that, you're living proof of improvement. So this is how we're going to start. And then we go from there. So you can buy online any one of these nutrients that I've pioneered and put together. And you can also book consultations, that high-low consultation consultate as well. And there's all the booking information. So just to stop the presentation there, I hope in this short space of time I've been able to concretize and summarize and give you a real anchor on the gut, the microbiome, energy, longevity, thinking clearly, the combination and the interaction between the gut and the brain. It's absolutely critical. Someone who doesn't have concentration, brain fog, cognition issues has got a gut where there's constipation or diarrhea, that's for sure. Blockages. And I showed you on many of those slides the interaction of the microbes and where they fit in. It's absolutely fascinating. And if you continue to drink hot drinks, just imagine you're killing the whole, from the esophagus all the way down into the gut, you're killing those microbes. Because when we want to clean something, what do? We boil the water, kill the germs. So if we're drinking just about boiled water, the water's that hot, or the tea's that hot, or the coffee's that hot, you're killing everything that it touches. So think about these things, because it's a gentle mucous membrane that's actually outside us, the tube from our mouth to our butt, and it needs to be held in very high regard, because it's through this membranes of this tube, the lining, that the food gets into the blood and gets into our cells to produce our energy. Otherwise, it lies around, it ferments, and we attract parasites. So that just gives you, I think, a real feel for this powerhouse inside us. And I hope I've assisted you develop affinity and love and warmth. And you'll think twice next time before you order that drink with us, and then expect your gut to digest it, or when you eat without any form of probiotic and expect your gut to digest it. So it's a combination of my high-low process, a potentiation of coming at all the risk factors, looking at the causes, and the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle just naturally fall into place. And that's the beauty. So I look forward to seeing more and more of you. And thank you for coming in. It's always wonderful to have also people from around the world. And I really do appreciate and honor your time, and hope you keep on learning and teach me too. Thanks.